Yassas. Okay, apparently that means hello in Greek, but I probably just absolutely butchered it. Today we're checking out the top 10 places to visit in Greece by Ryan Shirley. So I've done one of Ryan's videos before. I think I did his top 10 Europe cities to visit, and it was really, really good. Gave me a bunch of locations that wasn't really aware of before, so I'm assuming he's going to do the exact same thing with Greece now, and yeah, I'm excited. Hit that like button, let's dive in.
What's up, guys? My name is Ryan, and I spent the last few summers exploring the wonderful country of Greece, and I want to show you my favorite places. So here's my Greece top 10.
Looks like a dream.
Greece has to be one of my all-time favorite countries. It's home to the world's most beautiful beaches, the clearest water you've ever seen, massive mountains, and such a rich history. I've been to Greece over 3 times now, and I just can't get enough of this country. So let's start this video off in the iconic island of Santorini. This has to be one of Greece's most popular islands. I went there about 2 summers ago, and I have to say it lived up to its hype. Now to get there, you can take a ferry from Athens, or you can fly there from most European cities. One of my favorite places on the island is called Red Beach. It's this beautiful beach with incredible red cliffs, crystal blue water, and black sand beach. When we got there, we hiked above the beach to get a good vantage point of the whole area. There's a nice walking trail that'll take you down to the beach. It's a great place to sunbathe and enjoy the beauty of the Mediterranean. One of the most famous places on Santorini is the town called Aia. When you think of Santorini, this is it. Whitewashed houses.
Look at that, man. Holy cow. I just want to be sitting in this pool, like right here. Just live my best life. I wonder how much it costs to rent like an Airbnb here. It's got to be pretty expensive, right? It looks really, really nice.
And blue dome roofs and just absolutely insane views. When we went, we woke up early because we wanted to get there for sunrise. It was 100% worth it because it was one of the most incredible sunrises I've ever had in my life. We got there right when the sun was coming over the ridges, so perfect timing. We had an amazing time exploring the city. I still can't get over how beautiful the colors were there. If you plan to go there, I'd suggest the earlier the better because later in the day, it's going to get super crowded and packed. Aia was worth the hype, and it's a place I'd recommend all to see at least once in their life. Another town on Santorini is called Thera. It's this town that is built on the rim of a volcano. I mean, I just couldn't get over how beautiful this place looked. Just so stunning. So after Santorini, we're going to head over to my favorite island in the world, Zakynthos, Greece. It's one of the most epic locations I've ever been. It has 1,000-foot white cliffs, the bluest water you've ever seen, and the island is so green.
Ooh,
to get to
hurt my stomach.
I'd recommend flying there. One of the most iconic places on Zakynthos is the Shipwreck beach. The story goes about in the 1980s,
I think I saw
a cargo
this.
boat from Turkey was carrying illegal cigarettes and contraband, and the Greece Navy chased it into this cove and it ended up crashing, and then the sand over time built up around it, and it's made one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. So if you're near Zakynthos, you obviously need to go to this beach. What you can do is you can either take a little boat from the main town of Zakynthos, or you can go to a little port such as Porto Veromi. This is what I did, and pay about $20 and they'll take you to the beach. The boat ride there is absolutely phenomenal. You're going to be mind blown when you see these cliffs. So you get there on the beach. When I was there, it was fairly crowded, but it was just so mind blowing. These cliff walls are just incredible. Water is so freaking blue. And then you can also
look too bad, too crowded.
Be careful. Don't want to get tetanus with all that rust, but it's just a really cool experience. You can also get on top of the cliffs. You can just drive there. There's a little parking lot, and you can hike around the area, hike along the cliffs, get some cool pictures. Just be super careful. A lot of people fall off these ledges because they're being stupid, like me, taking pictures on the ledge or just not paying attention when they're doing a selfies. Shipwreck Beach also looks incredible during sunset. I went there and I was just amazed by how blue the water was.
Yeah, look at the water.
Amazing place. While we are still on Zakynthos, we're going to head over to the southern side to visit the small island of Marathonisi. So while we were in Greece, they wouldn't let us rent a car because we didn't have an international driver's license, but they let us rent a boat and we're able to drive out to this little island called Marathonisi. And it was just absolutely gorgeous. The water is so blue and it's just so vibrant. We found a little beach where we were able to dock the
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the water this blue in my whole life. Maybe, I mean, the closest I would say is when I went to Jamaica or like Dominican Republic. But even then, it was more of like a really green, and it was only clear a couple of times. Sometimes it was a little murky. This is like crystal clear blue.
Boat, hang out for a bit. After we hung out around the island, we went around the coast. We found this really secluded cove with 1,000-foot walls, and we were able to just fly the drones around there. I sadly crashed my drone there, fell in the water, but we were able to jump around, swim in the water, and have a good time. This was one of my favorite travel activities I've ever done. If you ever are in Zakynthos, I couldn't recommend renting a boat and going to Marathonisi and exploring the coast. Such a wonderful experience. Alright, so after Zakynthos, we're head over to the island that's right above it, and it's called Kefalonia. Now, to get to Kefalonia, you can take a ferry, or you can also fly there. So Kefalonia,
look at that shit.
It looks a lot like Zakynthos with its white cliffs and green vegetation. One place that Kefalonia is famous for is Myrto Beach, and it's just this massive 1.5 mile long white sand beach that has been voted Greece's best beach many times, and it's also known as one of the world's most beautiful beaches. Another popular place on Kefalonia is the Marathonisi cave. So it's a short 24-minute drive from Myrto Beach, and it costs about €7 to get in. It's such a beautiful underground lake with crystal clear water, and definitely a place you need to visit. Alright, so after Kefalonia, we're going to head over to the beautiful island of Milos. Now, this is one of the places that I haven't been yet, and I want to go there so freaking bad. I just can't get over how gorgeous this island is. Special thanks to my friend Singular Pulse for letting me use his footage. I'll leave a link in the description to his Milos video. So to get to Milos, you can take a 5-hour ferry from Athens.
A 5-hour ferry? That's long, isn't it? I don't think I've ever been on a ferry. Maybe once when I was in New York, but I don't think so.
On the island is the Kefalonia Caves. You'll have to take a boat to get there.
I love caves.
Or you can also just jump on one of the tour boats. Now, the Kefalonia Caves are these just gorgeous white rocks that jet out of the ocean, and the water is just so freaking clear there.
That looks crazy.
When I imagine Greece, this is what I think of. It's just such a stunning place. Another really cool spot on Milos is the Zakynthos beach. It's this really unique beach that's made out of lava that has been bleached by the sun and ocean. There's a nice little sandy beach there, and there's also a great little swimming hole open to the ocean. One reason I really want to go there is they have some
that looks crazy.
Alright, another really cool spot on the island is the Shipwreck beach. Hope I said that right.
Alright, if you live in Greece, you're lucky, because this is like the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen in my life. You don't see anything like this in the States. I mean, in Florida, it's kind of nice, some parts of it, but you get nothing like this. And it's really wet and moist, and this is obviously a more dry climate, which is what I prefer.
Small beach that's only accessible by taking 2 ladders down. It's this really cool and secluded spot where you can enjoy the Greek sun and Mediterranean Sea. Even though I haven't been here, Milos looks like one of the most beautiful Greek islands. Looking at this footage makes me want to go buy a plane ticket and go there now. Hopefully, I can make it there this summer. After Milos, we're going to head over to the city of Athens. It's the capital and largest city in Greece, and it's one of the world's oldest cities.
I'll be completely honest. I don't think, let me go back here. I don't think I've ever actually seen an image of the city of Athens like this. I didn't know it was this big. It looks massive.
Oldest cities. I'd have to say that Athens is one of my favorite cities in Europe. I mean, it's just such a wild place, and there's so much history there. It's fairly cheap. And
it's huge
there. One of my favorite places in Athens is the Acropolis. It's where the Parthenon is located, and you're going to get amazing views of all of Athens. Now, it's a little expensive to get in. It costs about €20.
That's not expensive. 20 euros? That's not bad. I'd pay that to go see it. It's probably so busy though.
So when I was there, I was able to get some of my favorite time lapses over this city. There's just an endless sea of white buildings. It's just so cool. If you do go to Greece, I definitely recommend exploring Athens for at least a day or two. Such a unique city. All right, so after Athens, we're going to go hit the slopes and go skiing. Now, while Greece is famous for its islands and beaches, it has some absolutely amazing mountains. Greece is the third most mountainous country in Europe, with over 80% of its landmass being mountainous. So Greece
Look at all that. I had no idea.
To enjoy the mountains. If you want to go test out some skiing, you can head over to the Milos ski.
Greece reminds me a lot of California, but with way better ocean water, because in California you can go skiing and go down to the beach all in the same day. It's about a 2-hour drive from snowboarding down to the beach where it's 85 and beautiful.
So it's the closest ski resort from Athens with only a 2-hour drive. It offers 8 ski runs and 4 lifts. The views from the resorts are
No idea
outstanding.
this was there.
According to legend, Mount Meteora is home to Panos, which is the half-human, half-goat god. The ski resort is one of the oldest in Greece, and it only costs about 14 euros to go skiing there, so that's actually quite affordable. Who would have thought
That's really
that Greece
cheap.
had such great ski resorts? After hitting the slopes, we're going to head down south to visit the Demetrios Shipwreck. So it's about a 3-hour drive from Athens, and the Shipwreck reminds me a lot of Nao Beach in Zakynthos, except it's not surrounded by massive cliffs and it's not nearly as crowded. So the origin of the ship is a mystery,
That's pretty
but
cool.
it's believed that the ship's captain docked the ship at the nearby port due to a medical emergency, and I guess the ship had like some financial issues and damage, and it was declared unsafe, so it was set adrift and it crashed at the Marathonisi beach in 1981.
It was just set adrift. They're like, all right, we can't fix the boat. Just let it go. Like, how do you know it's not going to run into something? It was just set adrift. They had to have brought it in there.
Crazy little story. Anyways, it's a cool little beach. You can just enjoy the water, go paddleboarding, and also check out this really cool shipwreck. All right, so after the shipwreck, we're head over to Meteora. Meteora is another one of my favorite places.
Oh my
in
gosh.
Greece. So
This looks like, this is going to sound so American, but it looks like where Hercules was. Like in the movies. It's honestly identical.
So me and my brother, we went here about 2 years ago. We made the 4-hour drive from Athens to Kefalonia, which is the city right before Meteora.
Oh
I was
my
just
gosh.
absolutely stunned by these massive rocks that came out of nowhere. So what Meteora is famous for is that they have these monasteries that are built upon these rocks. They were built in the 15th and 16th centuries. When you see these rocks, you just can't believe how people built them. You can go into the
it's like
monasteries
built
for
into
a
it.
few euros. When me and my brother were there, we got lucky with foggy conditions that made the whole place feel like a fairy tale. We had a good time running around the rocks and taking in the beautiful scenery. It was such a magical
That's
place.
stunning.
All right, so after Meteora, we're gonna head over to our final destination, Mount Olympus, otherwise known as the mythical mountain of the gods. So this may be the most epic location in Greece. At 9,570 feet high, it is Greece's highest mountain. According to Greek mythology, this is where Zeus and other Greek gods resided. When I was in Greece about 2 years ago, I was gonna hike this mountain, but due to some rental car complications, I wasn't able to make it. I was super bummed I couldn't hike, but I'm climbing to go climb it, hopefully this summer. So to hike Mount Olympus, it's recommended that you get a guide because it is quite dangerous and also a little confusing. Usually it takes people about 2 days to do it. To start the journey, you'll make the 5-hour drive from Athens, and you go to this little town called Kefalonia, and there's a parking lot, and this is where you can start the hike. You'll take a 3-mile hike to the first refuge called Spilios Agapitos. Now if you want to spend the night there, you can sleep there for $15. You can also get food there. Now after
That would be so
refuge,
fun.
the hike gets more difficult. You'll make the trek to Scala Peak, and after you'll make a 600-meter scramble to Metika's Peak, and this is the highest peak of Mount Olympus, and it's also known as Zeus's throne. So it's about a 9-kilometer hike one way to the peak with an elevation gain of 1,800 meters. People say it takes about 6 hours to do, so I definitely recommend doing your research.
It's pretty
before doing
long
this
hike.
and look into getting a guide. Hopefully, I can do it this summer and make a video about it.
Yeah, this looks absolutely stunning. I don't think I've ever wanted to go to Greece so much until I saw this video. Like, no lie. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Appreciate you guys watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace.